Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we are talking the Inkey List, but more specifically, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and feelings on some recent controversy, discussion, and opinions which have arisen from the content creator and skincare community here on YouTube and over on Instagram around the brand itself, how they're marketing their products, some of their recent launches. These things that have happened have left quite a few influencers feeling a bit cold towards the brand, has often led to a lot of comments from you guys, the subscribers of this channel, leaving comments below videos asking for my thoughts and feelings on it, and sharing your own perception of the Inkey List as a result of these things. This is a discussion which we've also had over on the Facebook group, which I'll leave a link to below if you do want to join it and check out that discussion there. And so I thought now was a great time to sit down and share my thoughts and feelings on the Inkey List, some of the recent things that have been discussed, and what my take is on it. My take is actually quite different to what some of the other people have shared on their own YouTube channels and over on their Instagram. This isn't in any way meant as any disrespect to those. I think we live in a world, it's 2021, we can all have different opinions and respect other people's thoughts and opinions. I think it was yesterday that No BS Beauty, Sarah over at No BS Beauty, is one of my absolute favourite content creators. She has one of the best personalities. The reviews she does are so phenomenal, and I watch every single one of her videos. So Sarah, if you're watching, I'm sending a lot of love. She actually took the opposite view to what I'm going to take in this video, saying that actually a lot of things that have gone on have left her feeling a lot less trustful of the Inkey List as a brand. I'm going to leave her video linked below because actually, whilst I plan to film this video for a whole lot of time, since Lab Muffin came out with her first video on this, which kickstarted it maybe a month ago, I've planned to film this video. I think checking out Sarah's video is a really good way of getting, both sides of the story. So it enables you to make your own mind up on the brand. So let's cut the waffle and get straight on into it. I'm not going to share with you a whole overview of the Inkey List because I've covered this in a video, which I'll link up there if you want to know a bit more about the brand, the products, the price point, and all of that. Check out that video for some background. But this to me boils down to two things which I think have been called out. The marketing strategy is number one, and how the Inkey List are promoting some of their more recent products and how that could be a little bit misleading and problematic to us as consumers. And secondly is the new products themselves, and that they're not living up to the hype and the expectations that the Inkey List are giving, and also they're not as good as some of the original Holy Grail products from the Inkey List themselves. I'm going to break it apart and share my thoughts and feelings on both of these, and why actually overall the Inkey List is going to be a brand which I continue to enjoy and love. Before we get into it, I'm just going to call out that I'm not sponsored by the Inkey List. I've never taken a sponsorship by the Inkey List, and we don't have a commercial relationship like that. I love a lot of their brands. I bought just about all of their products myself with my own money. They do send me some products to try in PR from time to time, but that's always done in a no obligation kind of relationship, where there's no obligation to post a review of it or to share my thoughts and feelings on it. It's just a gesture from them, and no money ever exchanges hands. So I wanted to just clear that up for full transparency before the outset. So let's jump straight in and talk about their marketing strategy. This comes down to these two products, I think. This is the fulvic acid brightening cleanser, and this is the succinct acid blemish treatment. Both of these are reasonably new launches, and they focus on an active ingredient in the name of the product. Let's just talk, just for ease, and so this video doesn't run to like 40 minutes, let's just talk about this. This is the succinct acid blemish treatment. While succinct acid is one of the ingredients in it, the core components that are doing the heavy lifting in terms of delivering benefit to the blemishes, and this, by the way, is a holy grail product. I've acne breakout prone skin, and it works so well as a spot treatment to shrink the size of my spot and cure the heal time. I love, love, love this product. So whilst the succinct acid is called out, the actual heavy lifting in here is done by the salicylic acid, which I know a lot of you guys know and love, and also sulfur, which is great at calming redness, also helping to reduce the heal time of acne and breakouts. So it's a combination of all these ingredients which are doing it. And so a lot of people are saying, actually, using succinct acid, which is probably of those active ingredients, one of the least effective when it comes to tackling the acne, is a little bit misleading. I actually don't buy into this. I appreciate entirely where people are coming from in that perspective, but there's a couple of reasons I don't feel this is misleading. First of all, I think first and foremost, this is advertised as a blemish treatment, and it works wonders as a blemish treatment. So we would buy this as a consumer, we would reach to this to tackle our pimples and our acne, shrink the size of them, and reduce the heal time. And this delivers on that. So from that perspective, it's not misleading. You would reach for an affordable product like this to tackle your pimples and get great results. Yes, there's other ingredients in here that are doing the heavy lifting. And so whilst it would be nice if they just called it a blemish treatment, I think To understand the reason why they use that succinct acid is to differentiate this from all the other blemish treatments on the market. And I don't have an issue with brands doing that, providing it's done in an honest way. This product does contain succinct acid, so there's no lie that they're doing. This isn't marketing or misinformation, because it does contain the active ingredient. And I also feel that we should kind of think about what's gone before. So the Inkey List were one of the brands, alongside the Ordinary and some of the other indie brands, which really broke the mold in terms of advertising. You think before products like this and the Ordinary in their range, we were bamboozled with really dodgy advertising, where you'd see claims like, 80% wrinkle reduction, and then you'd look in the small print and it'd be like, in studies, 80% of women showed an improvement in their wrinkles, and they tested it on 32 women. And all of this was really dodgy, really not above board, and wasn't really delivering anything meaningful other than a tagline to sell the product. The Inkey List, the Ordinary, we've now got Face Theory, we've got so many really great brands out there that they rely on the products to sell themselves. They say, this is going to tackle, this is going to tackle your blemishes, and it does. And so actually, the Inkey List, I feel, should be given credit for being one of those brands which really took us away from that really dodgy, headline-grabbing marketing approach, which actually, as consumers, was just lying to us in a lot of the cases. There's a whole thing that goes behind those, how those results were manipulated and sold to us. And so actually, I think we should give credit for the movement towards a more product-driven approach to marketing, which has to be a good thing. In terms of their other products, some of them I like, some of the new launches I like, and some that I don't. I'll come on to that in a minute. And whilst they are focusing down on new and innovative reasons, the reason they do this as a brand, just to be totally open with you guys, the reason they would do this is if you Google succinct acid, this will be the #1 product that comes up. So people will be like, great, I'll gravitate towards that and I'll buy it. If you search sulfur, which again is a key ingredient, so if they call this the sulfur blemish treatment, there will be so many other options. And as a result, they'd be less likely to be purchased. So it is marketing and it is search engine optimization and offering something unique to the market. But I feel as long as the product works, I don't actually have an issue with that. And I don't feel as a consumer that I'm being lied to. Now, there are loads of people out there that will read me to filth for this and disagree, and I'd love for you to share your thoughts and feelings in the comments, but I actually don't think there's anything wrong with this marketing strategy myself. Do I wish there was a bit more transparency? Absolutely, but I would always champion that. But I don't feel there's a whole lot wrong with the marketing strategy itself. Now let's come on to the other criticism which is often levelled against the brand, which is their plethora of new launches. So many new launches in such a short space of time, and how some of them actually aren't as good as some of their Holy Grail original products. This I do kind of agree, whereas I just disagree with the marketing thing and people saying it's misleading. I just disagree with that personally. With this, I do have a little bit more of a nuanced opinion towards it, and I think some of the newer launches haven't been as great as some of the Holy Grails. You guys know I love and adore the Inkey List Retinol. I think it's one of the best over-the-counter retinols out there. I love so many of their other products which have gone before, and they featured heavily in my skincare routine. The Oat Cleansing Balm, I love. There was nothing like it on the market and I loved it. The new launches, they've been a mixed bag. The succinct acid blemish treatment, if you have breakout prone skin and suffer from pimples and blemishes, get this in your life because it's done so much for me and I really love it as a mask and as a treatment. I also really do like this fulvic acid brightening cleanser. Is it going to brighten the skin? You know what, probably not. I'm not sold on any cleanser really adding that much benefit. You're leaving it on the skin maybe like 60 seconds. It's then a wash off treatment. I don't think you're going to get a whole lot of benefit when compared to a leave on treatment. And so, yes, I don't think I'm going to see much brightening from this. If you read some of the reviews online, people seem to really enjoy it. I do like the texture, however. It seems bouncy, it has a really nice light gel texture, and it's a really pleasant product to use at a really affordable price. So I actually do use this every other day in my skincare routine, and I quite like it and will probably continue to use it. The launch that I'm not a huge fan of is this. This is the Sim Bright Moisturiser, which is designed to brighten your skin. Again, I think this could be a little bit problematic in terms of Sim Bright in it, which is a trademark of an ingredient that they've just trademarked themselves. It does feature quite low on the ingredients list. Is it going to do anything to brighten the skin? I think that's open to discussion if you look at some of the science behind it, which isn't fully released. I'm not totally convinced. I've tried it. It's a nice moisturiser. It moisturises the skin. Do I think you're going to get a whole lot of brightening benefit from it? I think the jury's out, and I haven't seen those results yet, though I am in the early stages of testing it. I think this is the one that probably isn't as holy grail as a lot of the other ones. Some people have called out their hair care products as well as being not that great. Again, I'm not going to pass comment on those because I haven't really used them in any great detail to be able to pass comment on that. I'd say this is probably my least favourite of the recent launches, but I did quite like the fulvic acid brightening cleanser and a holy grail, instant holy grail on that succinct acid blemish treatment. So kind of overall, what are my thoughts and feelings? If I was to distill it all down, what are my thoughts and feelings on the Inkey List? Well, I think like all brands, as brands evolve, they grow their collection of products. I do think the Inkey List have exploded the number of products that are in their collection, and I think they need to look at the ones that they're offering and making sure there is a real difference between the new launches and the stuff that's already on the market. I'm not in charge of the branding. I'm not one that says that you have to have an X amount of products in your product line, but I do think it can get a little bit misleading from consumers when you're having very similar launches. It's what I call the Paula's Choice problem, where Paula's Choice has 1,000,001 cleansers and they all kind of do the same thing and it's hard to differentiate. I don't want to see the Inkey List get into that territory. I do think it's fine to use active ingredients in the names of your products, providing it contains that active ingredient within that. There is some discussion around the transparency of the concentrations and saying that in some instances concentrations might not be delivering exactly like that. So they say there's a concentration of the peat in the fulvic acid cleanser, for an example, but actually within that concentration of peat, it's actually a smaller concentration of fulvic acid. So there is something around that I think does lack a little bit of transparency. I included that in my review of the product, which I'll leave a link to up there if you want to check that specific product out in more detail. I did call that out. So I do think there is definitely improvements that can be made to transparency, and I don't think any brand is immune to this, and every brand should look at themselves on how they're presenting themselves to consumers and work on that transparency. And I'd love to see the Inkey List do that. I think the claims around the Sin Bright moisturizer were hyped a little bit, and that could lead to consumer disappointment because I don't think that product is going to change anyone's skin or the world. But does that mean that I'm totally against the brand? Absolutely not. I credit the Inkey List alongside a lot of the other indie brands that I know and love for really driving the consumer forward. As consumers, we were totally beholden to some of the big conglomerates. They would advertise their product all in the same way, dubious claims, shouting them from the rooftops, celebrity endorsements, and all of that. And us consumers, we were bamboozled with it and kind of almost like coerced into these products because there was so little choice. There's so much choice on the market now, and the Inkey List, The Ordinary, Face Theory, Paula's Choice, all of these brands really drove that forward, and I think we should give them credit for that. I love the drugstore price point. I love the fact that they do now ship internationally, and their international presence is growing, which gives people more option. I would like them to think, again, like I say, about that transparency and continue as they grow. I think all brands kind of can risk losing sight of the consumer and the end purchaser of their products, and I'd obviously say double down on that and make sure that that doesn't happen, because I'd hate that to be the case for a brand which I do really love. They of course have their ding 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 holy grail products and their total fails, and I'll be totally honest with you, I did like holy grails and fails of the Inkey List, which I'll leave a link to up there. Check that out if you want my full honest opinions of the ones that work and the products that don't. I'll continue to buy from them, and I'll watch this space, and any developments I'll keep you up to date with. Hopefully this has given a little bit of counter perspective to some of the things which is going on out there. Again, to reiterate, no disrespect to those that share a different opinion to me. I feel like we live in a world where we can all have opinions, appreciate other people's opinions when they differ from mine, and I'd absolutely recommend you check out Lab Muffin and No BS Beauty in their videos below to get that second opinion on this and see the other side if you haven't already. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye.